So you have sort of one foot in the past in a certain way.
Or yeah, sometimes two.
Sometimes two.
Sometimes two.
Let's turn and face the future just for a second. How do you see Switzerland continuing to evolve? Is it going to, you mentioned Switzerland as a small place surrounded by these giant countries referring back a century ago. But what about the future? It's still a small country surrounded by very, very large neighbors.
Yeah.
And you could even say now it's an island in the middle of the EU. Any thoughts on?
Yeah, I think this is just my personal opinion. I'm certainly not a politician. I'm certainly not an economist. I'm not a historian.
Right.
I have no knowledge any more than any man on the street sure of what. But what I would hope for Switzerland are two things: is a rapid evolution socially, that things move a little faster in terms of equality, childcare. Just in terms of what
you have to see happen, or you wish to have?
I wish to see it happen much quicker.
Okay, yes.
But I also appreciate the slowness of Switzerland in any momentous decision making.
Right.
And I think somehow these two things, this traditional conservative, slow process.
Things are deliberate here.
Things are deliberate and slow, and it takes years and years.
Yeah.
That needs to, I honestly feel that needs to be maintained in order to preserve Switzerland from any decisions made too quickly.
Right.
On the other hand, Switzerland could move a lot faster in terms of its own people.
Some things that maybe have already been deliberated.
Oh, they've been deliberated for so long.
Yeah.
Wage equality.
Right.
Well, you can ask companies forever.
Yeah.
To have wage equality. They're not necessarily going to do it. And once again, these are topics which are complicated.
Yeah.
Childcare needs, access to, oh God, I remember the name in English. What's a crèche in?
Nursery.
A nursery, yeah. Access to childcare, in all of those things need to be accelerated.
Right.
And, but on the other hand, Switzerland, I hope it maintains its traditional sort of, rhythm for international affairs.
Yeah.
So it's complicated.
Yeah.
And things take time. And I understand, that it's a process that needs to happen organically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a country that's very attractive to people who don't live here. And this will always be the case in part.
Yeah.
Because of the things that they don't understand about the country,
yes.
Right?
I mean, there is a subject that the Swiss could tackle, and that is in France they have the system of les intermittents du spectacle. How do you people who work in industries like the theater, the cinema,
entertainment,
the entertainment industries can go on unemployment between jobs. Because the nature of their activity is,
because they're going to play for 3 months, and maybe
and then they
unemployed for 6 months.
That's right. And Switzerland could afford to do that. New Zealand does that.
Okay.
Switzerland could certainly afford to do it, and Switzerland would create a body of craftspeople and artists who could respond to international demand. Whereas now it's very, very complicated.
Interesting.
Most people who work in the arts, they have a second job.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford, they can't make ends meet.
Right.
And to have that possibility, in other words, to elevate the profession of creator, if you like, to a level where they could actually make a living doing it.
Right.
Would be a wonderful thing.
Sort of bridge these projects that they would be working on.
Absolutely.
All projects.
And that would bring in projects from abroad into Switzerland.
Projects and people, I see.
Projects and people, because, there's no reason that Switzerland can't have a film industry.
Yeah.
A real film industry with big films and
not just die Schweiz.
Yeah. I mean, it's complicated. I understand, because that is also part of the politics of helping out filmmakers. Everyone gets a little bit of money.
Yes.
No one gets enough to make a real movie.
Right.
It's hard for them. I understand.
Okay.
But Switzerland could do it. That is a political decision. That is a political decision. Artists are much appreciated, but they're expected to survive as best they can.
Okay.
And I think that is not necessarily a productive process as a whole.